we refer to that. We refer to something called loneliness. You know, the Surgeon General of the United States a few years back wrote a paper titled "Epidemic of Loneliness."
Hmm.
Historically, the way we've talked about it as humans is that at its core, it's related to a deep sense of separation, disconnection in our experience with all of life. So, at the core of it, what we call loneliness actually is our lack of connection to our own experience. I want to start there, right? So, the origins of it are just related to the world we're in. Uh, Everything about the world is made in a way to confuse us and to take us away from the truth and to take us away from knowing what we're feeling and how to express that in a real way, you know. So, you know, historically, we've talked about it um, as the root being that sense of separation, like I'm in here and everything, you know. Um, and we also know that that's not true. It's just a visual, uh, it's a misinterpretation of our experience, really, is one way of talking about it. And so the current shape of it, yeah, it has to do with the systems that we currently live in and how inhuman they are and how our programming and conditioning have disconnected us and put us in boxes with labels and names. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And so then, and I don't. I want to touch in a little bit to what you're talking about because uh, there's a place that we can get to where we don't spend any efforts trying to siphon off our life. Where I don't lose anything by having another connection with a human being that you might call shallow. I don't know what that means, to be honest with you. There's no such thing as a shallow interaction at the deepest level. But that has to do with my perception of things, where I'm at in my evolution of consciousness. Does that make sense what I'm saying? Right? Because when we have this and I know what you mean, I relate to it too. I'm not, but when we have this idea of like my tribe and I'm gonna, and I'm gonna, have like-minded things with me, and you know, um, we're not we're not actually aware that that's related to a form of fear and just a lack of clarity.
My pushback on that is
Sure.
it's not that I don't want to deal with or talk to people that I have a difference with or who don't I don't connect with. It's that because of we're at a movie or a concert or a mall or a party, fill in the blank, we're in any of these places where a true quality interaction is not possible.
Well, but that's my point. My point is, you just made you're making a relative statement. Now you're describing your relationship with things, but you're not making a universal statement. So at the core of it, what you're describing, this relates to all of us. This is the deepest thing that we're all working on. It's still at its core related to our being dependent on things out here
Hmm.
for how we feel. Does that make sense? So it's the most subtle thing you can imagine, but we're actually needing something from the interaction. It doesn't feel like we're just giving something to it. We don't notice this, but it's actually based off of a habit of needing things from the environment uh, in order to maintain an equilibrium. You see what I'm saying? Nothing wrong with no judge. It's just part of what we do, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not aware of what that's actually about, right? So like I said, it's a relative statement when you say there's not a possibility for equality interaction. But you're speaking to something that I don't you relate to in your experience, you know. I would just suggest it's just not related to what you think it is.
Which
And
I
that there's just
totally
a
can
little more
accept
there.